The explosion still echoed in her ears long after the smoke cleared. She felt Jinwoo's arms around her, pulling her through the darkness, every heartbeat reminding her how close she came to losing him. His grip was tight, desperate, trembling in a way she had never seen before. The world around them was chaos, but all she could feel was the fear in his chest. Fear that she might not survive. He didn't say a word, yet his silence screamed everything. When they finally reached safety, he looked at her with a mixture of anger and relief. "I told you not to follow me," he whispered, voice raw. But she could see it in his eyes. If she hadn't followed him, he might have died. Their breaths mixed in the dim light, tension thick between them. This wasn't just danger anymore. This was a war. Jinwoo brought her to a place he swore no one else knew about, a hidden safe house deep in Bizen. The concrete walls felt cold, the lights dim, and the silence heavy with all the things they couldn't say. She watched him pace the room, anger simmering under his skin like a storm ready to break. His tattoos seemed darker tonight, like shadows crawling over secrets she didn't fully understand. But beneath the frustration, she knew he was terrified. "Someone inside betrayed us," he finally admitted. That sentence alone told her everything. If they were hiding, it meant the enemy was closer than ever. And she wasn't sure whether danger came from the outside, or from someone Jinwoo trusted. Taeyeon arrived at the safe house unannounced, his expression unreadable. She never knew whether to fear him or trust him. Jinwoo's right-hand man, loyal yet unpredictable. The two men exchanged a glance heavy with unspoken tension, and she realized something new. Taeyeon didn't approve of her being here, not because she was a weakness, but because she was becoming too important to Jinwoo. Throughout the night, Taeyeon didn't take his eyes off her. It wasn't lust or admiration. It was calculation. He was trying to decide if she was the liability, or the reason Jinwoo would lose control. And she knew one thing clearly: the most dangerous enemies were not always outside the room. Hours of stress, fear, and secrets pushed them dangerously close. Jinwoo stood in front of her, tension rolling off him like heat waves. She tried to thank him for saving her life, but her voice shook. He touched her cheek lightly, his fingertips trembling. "You don't understand what being with me costs," he whispered. But instead of pulling away, he leaned closer. Their lips met with a force neither of them could stop. It wasn't gentle. It wasn't innocent. It was desperate. The kind of kiss born from almost dying, from fear, from wanting someone you're not supposed to love. And when it ended, Jinwoo stepped back like he'd crossed a line he could never erase. Taeyeon slammed a folder onto the table, frustration written in every line of his face. She recognized her own photo on the cover, taken without her knowledge, long before she met Jinwoo. Her stomach dropped. "Someone has been watching her," Taeyeon said quietly. And not just watching. The file contained information she had never told anyone. Not even Jinwoo. Jinwoo's expression shifted from shock to fury. He demanded answers, but she didn't have any. Someone out there wanted her for a reason she couldn't understand. And it became clear. This wasn't just Jinwoo's war. Somehow, she had been part of it long before she ever fell for him. Safe House wasn't safe anymore. Someone had hacked their security system, and Jinwoo knew they needed to move. He held her hand tightly as they escaped through the back tunnels, guiding her through the dark. Every sound made her heart leap. Every shadow felt like an attack waiting to happen. Jinwoo stayed between her and the danger, his protective instincts sharp and unrelenting. When they finally reached the car, he pushed her inside and slammed the door. "From now on, you don't leave my sight," he said. His tone wasn't romantic. It was a command, a promise, a warning. They reached another hideout, but this one wasn't empty. Members of Jinwoo's own organization were waiting, and they weren't happy. Whispered conversations cut through the room as eyes fell on her like knives. One of the men stepped forward and said what the rest were thinking. She's a liability, and people are dying because of her. Jinwoo stepped in front of her instantly, tattoos shifting as his muscles tensed. If anyone touches her, they answer to me. The room fell silent, but she saw it in their eyes. Loyalty was cracking. And enemies weren't just outside their doors. They were inside his circle. A sudden attack forced them out of the hideout again. Bullets rained down as Jinwoo shielded her with his body, dragging her into a narrow alley. The fear was suffocating, the chaos overwhelming. She had never seen him this scared, this desperate to keep her alive. They escaped by seconds, collapsing behind a rusted metal door. She touched his face, breath trembling. His eyes softened in a way she rarely saw. "I can't lose you," he whispered. It wasn't a confession. It was a plea. And she realized he wasn't just protecting her. He was in love with her, whether he liked it or not. Jinwoo finally revealed the truth he'd been hiding. Years ago, before she met him, he was assigned to investigate a mysterious woman connected to a criminal network. That woman was her mother. The information hit her like a blow. Everything she knew about her life suddenly felt like a lie. Her hands trembled as she tried to process it. Jinwoo reached for her, but she stepped back. "So you were watching me before you even knew me?" she asked, voice breaking. The look of guilt on his face confirmed the truth she feared. She needed time, but time was exactly what they didn't have. Jinwoo expected her to walk away after learning the truth. Instead, she surprised them both. She stayed, not because she wasn't hurt, but because she knew leaving wouldn't save either of them. That night, she stitched up a wound on his arm, hands shaky. He watched her silently, unsure why she didn't hate him. "You should run from me," he whispered. She looked up, tears in her eyes. "Maybe, but I'm still here." Taeyeon uncovered the real enemy. Someone inside the organization had teamed up with a rival mafia group. The traitor wasn't just targeting Jinwoo. They were targeting her specifically. And the deeper they dug, the clearer it became. Everything traced back to her mother. Jinwoo looked at her with a mixture of fear and determination. "They want you alive," he said. "And that scares me more than anything." If she was the key to their plan, then she wasn't just in danger. She was the center of the war. Their luck ran out. She was taken during an ambush, dragged into a black van before Jinwoo could reach her. The world spun as her captors bound her hands and covered her mouth. Panic clawed at her chest, but she forced herself to stay conscious. She had to survive long enough for Jinwoo to find her. Meanwhile, Jinwoo's world shattered the moment he saw her disappear. He didn't yell. He didn't panic. He turned deadly silent. The kind of silence that promised someone was going to die tonight. She woke up in a dim warehouse facing the last person she expected. A man with her mother's eyes. He claimed to be her uncle. A man she never knew existed. His smile was cold as he explained that she was needed to complete what her mother started. "You were born for this," he said. Her stomach twisted. Nothing made sense. Jinwoo hadn't been lying. Her family was part of something dark, something she was never meant to escape. Jinwoo arrived like a storm unleashed. He tore through the warehouse with a fury she had never seen, fighting through armed guards like they were nothing. He didn't hesitate, didn't blink, didn't stop until he found her. When their eyes met, she almost collapsed in relief. He held her face in his shaking hands. "I thought I lost you," he breathed. But behind his voice was something darker. Rage at the man who took her. Rage that was about to erupt. Her uncle tried to escape, but Jinwoo wouldn't allow it. A final confrontation erupted. Brutal, painful, and inevitable. In the end, Jinwoo chose her over revenge. pulling her into his arms as the warehouse crumbled around them. He didn't need to kill her uncle to win. Saving her was enough. As dawn broke, Jinwoo cupped her face gently. "I'm done warning you," he whispered. "If loving me is dangerous, then let's face the danger together." And for the first time, she knew. This wasn't the end of their story. It was the beginning of something far more powerful.